Welcome back to the channel, everybody. May the 4th be with you. Do not try, do, as Yoda would say, and that's what the Mariners have been doing lately. 8 straight series wins. Obviously not great today, 8-1 loss, but going into it, you're facing their ace, DeGrom, and honestly, they could have lost 20-1, and I would have been fine with today. Can't win them all. So what I'm going to do is just go through the box scores from each of these games, what I liked, highlights, things like that, and then a quick outlook on the A's series and sort of where the season is headed, and then finish up. So let's get started with game one. Obviously the most fun to watch, 13-1 victory, and just hits all over the place. 17 hits, 13 runs off those 17 hits. That was great. JP 2 for 6, had the 2 RBIs. Just such a disciplined hitter. One of those hits was off a position player, but they all count in the scorebook, regardless of who it's off of. Jorge continues to contribute. 1 for 2 in that game, scored a run, walked, and had a hard hit ball. Garver, I've said this recently, I'm totally okay with Garver in this lineup at this point. He's putting up good at bats. He hits the ball hard, and he's drawing his walks. That's all you can really ask for. Julio 2 for 4, scored a couple runs, had that home run, not off a position player. That was hit to the deepest part of the ballpark, and it's great to see Julio show some pop. His ground ball rate is high, so it's nice to see him elevate the ball a couple times. Had a couple hard hit balls in this game, a couple RBIs. The home run was a 2-run shot. Samad Taylor 0 for 2. Haven't been super impressed with Samad since he got the call up, but he got called up for his versatility. He can play second base, he can play outfield. Prototypical Mariners player that they call up from the minors. I mean, you look at Leo Rivas and even Sam Haggerty. I mean, they look for guys that can fill multiple positions, and with the amount of injuries that are going on right now, that's all you can really ask for. He plays good defense. Cal Raleigh, I mentioned this with the Blue Jays, where they might not let him cross the border in future series. I think it might be the same with Texas. They just shouldn't let him within 10 miles of that stadium because he just tears them apart. I think that's 5 straight games with a home run against Texas that he had. Yeah, Cal 2 for 4, couple of runs scored on the home runs, of course. Had 5 RBIs. He's very boom or bust, which is what we signed up for. Randy 1 for 3, had a walk. He's a walk merchant. It's kind of what he does. And he struck out. All good. Scored a run. Rowdy went 3 for 5, scored a run, had an RBI. I really think with how Solano's playing, and given the fact that the Mariners don't seem to want to call up Tyler Locklear, who's hitting over 300 in AAA, maybe play him against lefties. I mean, you can't be much worse than what Solano's giving you right now. So Miles Master Bone Saber, 2 for 5, couple runs, 4 hard hit balls. He seems to just be allergic to any hit that's not a line drive, which is great. He's not going to hit it out of the ballpark, but he puts a great swing on the ball. He's a pesky hitter. The bottom of the lineup is just full of pesky hitters. They work pitch counts up. Ben Williamson, 2 for 5, scored a run, had an RBI, and he nearly hit that ball out to right center field. His profile after being called up was he hits the ball hard, he just can't elevate. His launch angles aren't great, he hits the ball into the ground a lot. And so far, I mean, small sample size, but he's hitting the ball on the line a lot, and if he can start to elevate the ball a little bit more. I think he might have been mis-scouted. You hear from hitting coaches and people who know baseball that you'd rather have a guy that starts with the reputation of being a contact hitter, who maybe has the frame to be a power hitter, and rather than vice versa. He's got more room to grow because he starts with the tool that's most important, which is putting bat on ball, rather than, being able to hit home runs right away. And he's already shown quite a bit of pop so far. So good to see from Ben, and especially because He started to cool down recently. Rylan Thomas made his debut, had his first major league hit. It was a blooper. It was I don't know a lot about Rylan Thomas, but from the sounds of what I've heard from fans who know more about the minor league system, this is kind of a quintessential Rylan Thomas hit. Just a flare job, perfectly placed down the line. His first RBI on a sac fly. I think he had a ground out that scored a run as well. Scored his first major league run. He needed some more time in AAA, possibly, but with the amount of injuries to our corner outfield spots, it's kind of inevitable that he got called up. Yeah, could you make more noise during my video, buddy? Yeah, you want to make some more noise? Yeah, okay. Brian Wu shoved in this game, 6 1/3, just gave up the 1 hit, only 2 hard hit balls. He was at 87 pitches when they pulled him. I might be a little bit old school, have him throw 100 pitches. If he's got a low pitch count and he's pitched only 6 1/3 innings, let him finish at least the 7th inning. I mean, I can understand the thought process. You have 2 of your starters on the injured list already. Obviously, Logan could be more serious than George. You want a little spotlight, buddy? So I get the thought process. Don't want to risk anything. Wu has injury history. He's already had Tommy John in his career. I don't think a Mariners starter has gone 7 innings this year. Maybe once, at the most. But then Thornton came in, who's been sort of troublesome in this bullpen. And he went 1 2/3, did not give up a hit. No walks, nothing. This might have been the outing that Thornton needed. I still question whether he should be on this roster or not. And Troy Taylor continues to be a little shaky since coming off of that injury to start the year. He only pitched an inning, gave up a couple hits, allowed a run on the Josh Smith solo shot to right field. You know it's been a tough start to the season when you give up a solo home run in 1 inning and your ERA goes down. It means you've allowed even more in previous outing. I just want to, before I go into game 2, I just want to talk about how many balls were hit hard from the Mariners today. 16 hard hit balls from the M's today. Get on to game 2 here. So this was a classic Mariners win game 2, a 2-1 victory, which looked like just about every win last year. The Mariners did spread out 10 hits. They just couldn't seem to rally them together. J.P. Crawford homered on the first pitch of the game, and when that happens, you think, well, they're just going to continue what they did yesterday and pour on runs. That was not the case. The corpse of Patrick Corbin seemed to turn it around after that. He ended up going 5 2/3 and only gave up 5 hits. Doesn't blow it by you, doesn't throw hard. It is what it is. He's had a pretty good season up to this point, but he hasn't really been good since he debuted with the D-backs. And his first couple years in Washington were decent. So JP 1 for 5. Julio had a big 0 for. Cal 2 for 3. Continues to hurt the Rangers. He had a double, walked, and struck out once. Randy 2 for 4 in this game. Mitch Garver 1 for 3. Continues to turn it around. Like I said, I don't mind Mitch Garver in the lineup. Solano was 0 for 3. Get this man off the roster. His on-base plus slugging is .314, which is ridiculously low. Jorge came in. He just could not be stopped. He had a double that went 110 off the bat. So he gets the second. Ben Williamson had an 0 for 4 in this game. However, he puts up quality at bats even when he's not, getting hits or getting on base. He took a ball that was in off the plate, maybe a couple balls in off the plate. Somehow, I don't even know how he made contact with this ball, let alone he hit it to the second baseman. Which, if you don't know baseball, if a guy's on second base and you hit it in front of him, so that means to the shortstop or third baseman, that means they cannot advance to third base because the shortstop, he's right in front of the shortstop. And you can get thrown out pretty easily if you try to advance, you're right next to the base. Versus if a ball's hit to second base or to the right side of the infield, that's a much longer throw to third base. So it's a lot easier for that runner to advance. Rowdy Tellez, who pinch hit for Leo Rivas, had a line drive into center field that probably would have scored Polanco from second. But regardless, Williamson impresses me. His situational hitting, his baseball IQ is incredible. So good on him. Samad Taylor, 0 for 2, had a hard hit ball. And Miles Masterboni also 0 for in the game. So yeah, a 2-1 victory. And this is just a quintessential Mariners victory from recent years, at least. It is really good to see that they can win so many different ways. It is a bit concerning that the offense dropped off after game 1. Castillo had a quality start, a little bit rocky at times. Gave up just 4 hits, 1 run. He gave up a lot of hard contact. Let's see, Castillo gave up 9 hard hit balls. You know, give up as many hard hit balls as you want, I guess. I guess it's just not super sustainable, especially in some other ballparks where it might carry a little bit more, or against some other teams that might be better situationally. He had a couple walks, only 2 strikeouts, and he only had 2 whiffs on the game. So the only time he missed a barrel was on those 2 strikeouts. Yeah, I mean, still good stuff. The highlight of this game was Matt Brash coming back. For those of you who don't know, he had Tommy John surgery. He hasn't pitched in over 500 days. The last time he pitched for the Mariners was in 2023. So it's just great to see him back. He gave up a hit on just a BABIP single, another Jonah Heim special, but didn't give up a hard hit ball. Had a strikeout. They're going to be cautious with him, no doubt, after an elbow injury. I'm guessing at the most every other game, they just threw him right into the fire. 7th inning with a tie game at that point. But that's not a very warm welcome. I'm expecting them to put him in situations where he can succeed to get his confidence back. But he succeeded in high leverage, so that's great. And Munoz continues to amaze. He walked a guy. His command was not there to start. Still a 0 ERA. He's just nails. If he's not an All-Star this year, I will boycott the All-Star game. All right, not going to spend too much time on Game 3, 8-1 loss. The only run scored for the Mariners was on a ground out from Polanco, even when he struggles at the plate, which he did in this game. He struck out a couple times. Still producing, so good to see. Situational hitting. Mariners just did not hit the ball hard this game, and they only got 4 hits off DeGrom. They continued their trend, though, of working the pitch count of aces. I think that's why they've gotten to them so well this year, is they're just so pesky and just frustrating to face, because when you continue to have 8, 9, 10 pitch at bats, it makes it really difficult to stay composed as a pitcher. DeGrom pitched well. He only gave up 3 hits and 3 hard hit balls. Logan Evans, in his second start in the big leagues, gave up 6 runs, 11 hits, 6 balls hit hard, so not crazy, and he only walked a couple. Struck out 5, which is still good to see. We really need one of the other starters back. I think after another start from Emerson and from Evans, I think we're really going to start to see that Emerson needs to stay in the rotation while we wait for Logan Gilbert to get back. Of the 6 or 7 potential starting pitchers that the Mariners are going to have when they get George Kirby back, I don't think Evans should be one of them, unfortunately. Now I'll kind of just talk about outlook and prepare for the Athletic series. A concern for me now, and this might be too early and maybe a bit of an overreaction, is the offense is starting to slow down or show signs of regression, which we knew were coming, but it might be a little bit too early with where the pitching staff's at right now. Great that we got Matt Brash back, so the bullpen is reinforced, but we still have 2 4A guys in our starting rotation right now. We were relying heavily on the offense to score, 8 runs a game. And, obviously game 1, they put up a bunch of runs. At this stage in the season with injuries, We can't have the formula from last year where pitchers throw quality start after quality start and the offense scores enough to win the game in a close game. We're just not there yet as far as our health as a roster. So I really hope they can continue, like, the overall trend of the offense has been good. Don't get me wrong. Like, still, I checked it after the series just to see, still second in the league in WRC plus, still top of the league in home runs, fourth in the league, sixth in run scores, and then that's great. We really need to have at least George Kirby back before we start going to last year's formula. Obviously, the thing that's going to push this team into the playoffs, I hope, knock on wood, is going to be their pitching. It's going to be pitching. And if we have a better offense, which we are on pace to do so, that's great. Stay hot for a little bit longer. Let's get halfway or to the end of May with an above average offense. And then we can start to get back to career norms. Not trying to be a downer. Just saying, overall, the series wins have been like us outscoring our opponents or putting up a bunch of runs when the opponent scores one or two or maybe get shut out. And, we had more close games recently. And the Athletics have been the second best team in the American League so far this season. 3 games above 500. They're a young team. They're an energetic team. They can hit the ball well. They're 7th in the league in weighted runs created plus. As far as batting average goes, they are 7th. Runs scored, they're 14th. Their run differential is not good. They're like -20 as far as run differential goes. The good news is the Athletics are 6-9 in their home ballpark, which is a AAA park in Sacramento. And so it's a very hitter-friendly park. The dimensions are a lot smaller than a Major League park. But if they can continue to hit, this is the ballpark to sort of re-stoke the fire. Another thing that was brought to my attention by some commenters in the Mariner Mojo live stream was that we have a very young roster, so some of the recent call-ups and maybe the younger players have played a lot of games in this ballpark. I think it's the River Cats or something, Sacramento. Their AAA team is in the same division as the Rainiers, which is a Mariners AAA team, obviously. So there might be some familiarity with the ballpark as well, which helps. I'm hopeful that they can continue their series win streak. But at the same time, I think the Athletics are a sneaky good team, and they're dangerous. And the first series of the season, we split it with them, and it didn't really look great. Also, we're getting the top of their pitching staff with Severino. Go Mariners. Great place to be right now, 20-13. I'm really hoping they can just keep this up. At the very least, play 500 ball and, stay in contention, because we all know it's a rough life to be a Mariners fan with how they pull on your heartstrings. I just hope they can prove all of us wrong, prove the national media wrong. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Share my channel if you know some Mariners fans in your life. Yeah, thank you, and have a good one. Peace.